If you're having a little bit of an off day right now, maybe you're feeling down, not feeling 100% about yourself, then this is a podcast you want to listen to. I got Deshaun Bryant from Roof Hustlers in the house. You won't find someone with more knowledge than what this gentleman has. Stay tuned for some of the best sales techniques and advice that you will find in the game. Hey, so what's up, everybody? I got Deshaun Bryant here. Could not be more excited. Roof Hustlers here right now in the Roofer's Den. I mean, this guy really needs no introduction. If you are been in the roofing game for any more than a day and you're not following this gentleman, then you're making a big mistake, because this is how you become great at sales, is you follow great salesmen. And that's who I'm so happy to have with me. How you doing, Deshaun?
I'm blessed, man. I appreciate that gracious introduction, man. I appreciate the time. Yeah, I'm fantastic, man. It's a new year, new grind, new habits, same hustle though, baby.
So, man, you got to tell everybody your story, because you've become somebody that thousands of people follow for their advice in sales and how to be a great roof entrepreneur. How did you get to the point you're at right now?
So first of all, I got into the industry 6 years ago, and I got into the roofing industry by mistake. Now in 2020, 2019, you know, people getting on Indeed and they filling out applications, and, you know, roofing companies hiring people. A good friend of mine just was like, man, I got a job I think you'd be great at. And I just took it and ran with it. I didn't know it was door to door, none of those things. And first week in the industry, I ended up selling 4 deals my first week. And I was like, man, it's either too easy or I'm home. And what I came to realize was that I was home. And about 2.5 years into the industry, I kind of saw that it was a big gap in the roofing industry. And I saw that most companies, and it's still present to this day, most companies suck at training their guys. So I was like, I can't be the only one with this struggle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create YouTube, and I'm just going to give away the game for free. You know, it was never about making money. It was never about, you know, the publicity, the popularity. It was just about anybody that get into this industry after me, I never want them to struggle like I had to struggle when I first got started. So that was the birth of Roof Hustlers. Mm-hmm. And ever since I got started, people was like, man, you want to make YouTube money? I'm like, no, I want to go to other roofing companies and I want to coach and train their guys. And it'll be 3 years this upcoming May. And this last year, we just kind of took off. The brand just exploded. We trained 10 companies last year. We coached a couple, maybe almost 100 people we coached last year, man. And we're just making a huge impact. And the thing I feel like people relate to the most is I come from I come from a not wealthy family. I come from the hood, but I just show people, if you invest into yourself, polish yourself up, the sky's the limit. I ain't nobody special. I tell everybody I'm just a guy that didn't quit, and I buckled down, and I bought into the industry. I didn't, I burned my ship as soon as I got started. It wasn't no, I'm going to do this and do this. It was like, I'm going to go all in on this. And, it's just it got great momentum right now. We got a great stride going.
You got all these people talking about let's say internet sales, internet marketing, but what about just the lost art of door-to-door sales? Because that is what you've been able to master, standing in front of somebody and saying, this is who I am, this is the product I have, and you're going to buy from me. Mm-hmm. It seems like there's been everybody on the internet, if you follow it, you jump onto Instagram, they're talking about giving you marketing leads, and they're talking about closing deals online. But you correct me if I'm wrong, but you still got to sit in front of somebody and sell yourself.
100%, man. It don't matter if you get an internet lead or, a Facebook lead, Instagram lead, whatever it is. When you show up, you still got to, sell them people on you, and then your company second. And I don't care what nobody says. Like, a lot of people caught up in drone inspections. A lot of people caught up on, like you said, online sales, but nothing beats that person-to-person human connection. And, like my boy Virgil, he was on the show. He said something that was crucial. He was like, it's a lot of guys that use drone inspections, but it's stuff that a drone can't see versus when you get on that roof. And the same thing with these marketing leads. These people just saying yes to these ads. They're not saying yes to the salesperson. So I believe that person-to-person connection is the differentiator. And I saw a clip earlier today on Instagram, and a guy was saying, door to door is still the best way to get leads, but you get burned out. And I disagree with that statement 100%.
Okay.
I don't believe nobody gets burned out. I believe only thing that allows somebody to get burned out is life causes you to forget why you started doing this. And I always know every day why I do this is to get up and to take care of the generations behind me, to take care of my family. So I never get burned out, man, because I know why I do this every day.
So what about those guys then? You see them in your training, you see them when you go out to these companies, these individuals that, man, they're down on themselves, man. What do you tell that door-to-door guy out there right now, man? He's been struggling a week. Maybe he's not closing the deals. He's got the family on his back that he's trying to support. How do you get that guy mentally in the right space, or do they need to be in the right space to start succeeding?
Right now, if a guy in that situation, I just tell him, man, enjoy the process. It takes time. My first week, I closed 4 deals. Second week, I closed 2. Third week, I closed 1. Then I closed 2 again. So it's an up and down, process. So a lot of guys, they get into this industry and they feel like they're supposed to thrive immediately because they look at somebody like myself and they see what I'm doing. And they're like, oh, man, I want to go do that same thing. And I tell them, bro, this 6 years. You know what I mean? It'll be 6 years in February. On top of that, the first 2 years was raw talent. The last 4 years, I read at least 3 books a month. I attend at least 4 to 5 conferences a month. I'm always studying some type of information just to help me get a little bit better. So those guys that's kind of down on themselves, I let people know the world gonna doubt you, so you can never doubt yourself. So always speak life into every situation you in. Like, I'm that type of person. I believe I can do anything. Like, I remember I got in an argument with my sister-in-law because she told me I couldn't do Ninja Warrior. I said, you crazy. I guarantee you I can do Ninja Warrior. But that's just how I'm wired. I believe anything I do, I want to be the best at. Not necessarily better than the people that's doing it. I just want to be the best me when I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing, because I don't compete with other salesmen. We have sales competitions, man. I never win them. And I know that might sound crazy to some people, but I don't compete in that form. I just compete with me. And I tell guys, just work on being better than you was the day before. Because my first year in the industry, I would go out, I would sign 0 deals that day. And my boss would call me. He was like, how was your day? I say, it was great. He's like, how many deals you closed? I'm like, 0. He's like, so how you had a great day? I say, because yesterday, I couldn't get the homeowner to keep the door open for a certain amount of time. Today, I was able to get past a couple more humps. Today, I was able to overcome this. Today, I knocked on every no solicitor door. Today, I just kept knocking even when the sun went down. I didn't quit early. I didn't get discouraged. So you got to find those little wins in the grind. And most people so caught up in the big wins, closing the deals, closing 4 or 5 deals in a day. No, just saying you're going to go out there and knock doors until the sun go down and you do that, that's a win. So you just got to learn to, get clarity on what a win is to you. I heard somebody say, you need to ask yourself 3 questions every day. What do I know? What do I don't know? And what's a win to me? So you got to figure out what's a win to you in this industry. And everybody think it's closing a deal, but sometimes it's just keeping the commitment that you made to yourself. So if you're down on yourself, be mindful of the commitments that you made to yourself. And if you kept them, that's a win, man. That's every reason to be proud of yourself.
I've heard something very similar to that. And someone told me back when I was selling timeshare back in the day, that you are good at sales when you have the same attitude the day you close 10 deals as the day you close 0.
Yep.
Because you are the person that you are. It's not fake. It's not improvised. You're not trying to be an actor out there. That's who you are. And if you have the confidence enough in yourself to be that person on the good and the bad days, then you figured something out.
Amen. Take your yeses like you take your no's with a smile on your face, baby.
Well, you're going to get more no's in this business than you are yeses, and basically any sales position. I just think that for some people, it kind of messes with them. I want to go back to what you said, though, about enjoying the process. You were saying that you're reading books, and I saw you posted on the Roof Hustlers, what books are people reading and what would they recommend? And, mine was David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. And it reminds me of a story that he tells in this book about when he was a Navy SEAL, and he was in Navy SEAL training. And he had boat number 2. Everyone's seen those videos where the Navy SEALs have to run around with the boat above their head.
Yep.
And he said he figured out that these guys who were training him, these guys who were his superiors, were getting off to the fact that they were down out on themselves, that they were depressed. And so they would begin filling their head with stuff like, hey, today's going to hurt you worse than ever. Today's going to be your worst day. And everybody would buy into it. They'd all start to think to themselves, yeah, today's going to suck. Today's going to be awful. And then when things started to get tough, it reinforced in their head, hey, they said it was going to be bad, so here we go. here we go again. It's going to be awful. I'm in pain. It's going to be more pain. And he started to think, what if I just flip this shit around? What if I say, I love this pain. I love what they're doing to me right now. This feels good. I'm going to wake up and be so happy to be in pain today. I want more of it. Now, he's a crazy example, and he flipped it around, and he got that boat number 2 to just enjoy the pain of what they were going through in that process. But I think it's a great example of you can be whatever you want to be if you can put your right mindset to it. If you've got the positive attitude going into it, that is not going to change your day. That pain of a no is not going to change who you are.
I agree 100%. I enjoy no's, man. I get excited. Like, I get excited when people tell me no. And people think it's cliche when I say that. But when you tell me no, that means we like the sales process starting. Like, you done gave me my first no. Now let's have some fun. So I go out there, I look forward to the no's, but I look forward to yeses too. But the no's, they don't bother me, man. I've been told no my whole life. I remember I was a kid and I used to ask my mama, could I go outside? She's like, no. Could I play the Sega? No. So I've been used to no's my entire life. So it didn't bother me when somebody who didn't know me told me no. And I think a lot of guys take it personal. Like make it about them. Oh man, they told me no. No, they didn't tell you no. They just told themselves no. You just happen to be the guy in front of them. So I never let no's bother me, man. Tough days, I treat them just like good days. Like you said, even kill. Never get too high on myself. Never get too low on myself. And frankly, I don't care whether my boss tell me I did great, whether the people that support me tell me I did great. Only thing that matters to me is when I come home and my girl said, great job. You're doing a great job taking care of the fam. And that's the only thing that keep me fueled up. So other people knows it don't never bother me emotionally.
So one thing I liked about you, man, is you walk the walk and you talk the talk out there. And this is why I want to bring up. I was following you the other day on Instagram and you were doing vision boards with your kids.
Yep.
That's something that I believe in. I do it with my people. I think it's an incredible thing to try, especially going into the new year. Some people knock it because, it kind of seems like it's a kid's activity sometimes, but it does work. What do you say to those sales reps out there? Because there's a lot of them that don't have purpose. It's just, let me get up today. Let me go ahead and sell a job if I can. Let me go to this neighborhood and hang some flyers. You talked about it, I believe, maybe 2 or 3 days ago on Instagram about being in a position to be, or I want to make sure I phrase this right. Start being the person or start doing the things that will make you the manager, will make you the owner of the company. Maybe you could explain it a little bit better because I thought that was just great, man.
Yeah, so I was on a call with a guy and he was telling me how he is having conflict with his company because, they told him they was going to put him in a position of leadership.
There it is.
And every year they never do it. And I'm like, I was like, let me ask you a question. What you waiting on? He's like, what you mean what I'm waiting on? I'm like, why you waiting to become a leader? Why you waiting to become a manager? Why you just won't be that person now? He's like, well, I never thought about it. I'm like, you got to understand, man, life comes in seasons. You know what I mean? Somebody either in your life for a season or for a reason. This company might not be where you meant to grow at. This might be the company that allows you to become the person you need to become. So when the right company comes around, you're prepared to step into that position. And a lot of guys, I think they so caught up in their companies and they don't focus more on themselves. I know this might sound messed up, but I've never sold roofs for my boss. I've never did anything to give my boss encouragement. And I tell them, like, I don't love y'all that much. Like, I genuinely don't love y'all that much to go out here and knock doors 7 days a week or do whatever it is I do to bring in income. I do this for my family and I do this for myself. So I'm always going to put in the work that I need to do to become the person that I need to become. So when the right opportunity comes, I'm that guy. So you can't wait for somebody else to put a title on you. I didn't wait for my company to say, hey, Deshaun, you are canvassing manager. I got to the point where I would just tell the guys, hey man, meet me in the office every Sunday at 10 o'clock. On Sundays, man, you know how hard it is to get somebody up on a Sunday at 10 o'clock? I would bring them breakfast and I would stay up all week preparing some type of lesson, some type of information. And I would get there and I would just teach them. And I tell everybody, the thing that's happening with Roof Hustlers is not ironic, man. I've been faithful over a few. When I had one guy, I was treating it like it was 20 guys. Now I got thousands of people that rock with me, and I treat them all the same. I don't give nobody any less value because it's, a certain a small amount of people that want to rock with me. So for those guys that's kind of struggling with that, or you idling within this industry, man, stop focusing on your boss, stop focusing on the company. and understand you're a business within a business. So your goal every year should be to make sure your business generate 1 million plus in revenue, and make sure you becoming the leader and the owner and the manager that you need to be to take your personal business to that next level. That way, when a right company come around and they say, hey, we looking for a sales manager, you don't have to go there and become a sales manager. You just step into that role because you've already been putting in that work. You've already been thinking of that person that you need to become. And that's why I do the vision boards. That's why, I write my life out. I got declarations that I say every day, because God created the world not with his hands, but with his words. He said, let there be light, and the sun was created. So a lot of guys, they don't speak life into their life. They speak death most of the time. Oh, this ain't this, or this ain't that, or they this and they this. So I'm telling guys, you need to write it out so you can see what your perfect life look like. You need to put it on a vision board, because we as human beings, we think in pictures. So you need to create those, visuals in your brain, so your brain can start working towards creating those things and making them a reality. Last year on my vision board, I trained 6 companies. I trained 6 companies in the first 3 months. I was like, dang, I made my goal too small. We ended up training 10. This year, I'm trying to train 25 companies. That's the goal. I wrote a check to myself for $575,000 or something like that. And somebody's like, man, that's a big check. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to land a 12-month goal. I'm going to land a 12-month contract with some company. Like, I don't know who or how it's going to happen, but I'm going to land a 12-month contract with some company. And it's a story with Jim Carrey where he wrote himself $1 million check, and the first big $1 million check was the exact number of the check that he wrote himself. So, you got to put those things into the universe. And I'm reading a book called The Energy Codes, and man, you got to raise your level of vibration to bring things to you. People think the law of attraction is hocus pocus. No, man, we energy beings. Everything we put out is energy. And if your energy isn't in the right place or focused on the right things, it'll never come to you.
I heard another great story about Jim Carrey where he was talking about his father. And he said that my father could have been a great comedian. He was a funny man. He could have easily been what I've done in my career. In fact, he probably could have done it better. His problem was they didn't believe that he could be a comedian. He didn't think that could be a career. And so he never pursued it. So he became an accountant. And then he had Jim. And Jim started to say, hey, listen, I'm not going to take that. I believe I can make this into a career, and I'm going to make the sacrifices to make that happen. So I look at that from the roof's perspective of, do you think you could be $1 million, $2 million, $10 million producer? Or are you just going out there trying to sell one roof a day? You're just going out there trying to get through it to make it happen. I want to talk to you about your morning routine. How do you get started in the morning to get yourself mentally and physically ready for the day?
So I've always been blessed enough that I've always been a morning person. I can't stand when people say, I ain't a morning person. I say, but if you didn't wake up that day, you'll be bummed out. Like, if you didn't wake up, you'll be sad. Or if somebody in your family didn't wake up, you'll be sad. So I love the mornings. So my morning routine, I'm probably like maybe 2.5, almost 3 years deep into it. My goal every day is to beat the sun up. If you follow me on Instagram, I think it's sun, sleep, we up. I'm always trying to beat the sun up. So I wake up probably like between 5:15, 5:30. I help my son get ready for school. That's the first thing I do, get him out of bed, because he's not a morning person. I already can see it, but I get him out of bed, get him dressed. After I get him dressed, I read for about 30 to 45 minutes every day. I love to read in the morning because my brain is fresh. I haven't indulged in any negative information. Nobody has spit any venom my way. So I like to prime my brain in the morning. Of course, I pray every morning when I wake up, because I like to, you got to stay connected with the big man. So I pray about 10 to 15 minutes when I wake up. Then I'm reading 30 to 45 minutes. After that, if it's not a crazy busy day with builds or nothing, I usually go to the gym, work out for about 45 minutes. And then once I come back from the gym, once your body move, your brain groove. So, I got the wheels turning. Then I'm working on my new book. It's called The Epitome of a Hustler. And I spend about 30 to 35 minutes writing that book every day. And after I'm done with that, it should be hitting about 9:45, 10 o'clock. I'm probably plugging in, doing all my follow-up calls. And then after that, I'm spending time with my daughter, because I am a stay-at-home dad. And I want to preface this. I'm not like a housewife. I'm not like I keep the house super clean and all these things. But my kids don't go to daycare, and they stay home with me every day. So I tell you, I give my daughter my attention from about 10 to 12.
I love that, man. You value your children, or your children and your family. It sounds like there's such a motivation for you to do what you do. I mean, everyone's got their own motivations, but for you, is it the family? Is it the kids?
Hands down. My pops wasn't there for me when I was growing up, and he died when I was 14. And my biggest thing always been, I want to be there for every moment for my kids. Like I've lost out on potential leadership positions because I wouldn't put my kids in daycare, because I wouldn't do certain things. And I told companies, I'm like, bro, y'all don't care about my kids. If they get in trouble at daycare, you're not gonna come and take care of them. I gotta take care of them. So my daughter go to daycare. She'll start VPK August of this year. Then I'll be officially out of staying home with my kids, and then we really gonna grind in, man. But I've been able to produce $1 million plus over the last 6 years. This is the first year I didn't hit 1 million selling because I've been on the road so much. But my family huge to me. I've been with my girl since I was 15, and she's the best thing that ever happened to me. She's the reason I even wanted to become a better person. And then my kids, I just want to set the best example for them, man. I want to be there every step of their life. And I never wanted to have to call off from work, or my daughter's sick and I say, I can't be at work. And they say, oh, no, you got to be here. So that's another one of the things I love about the roofing industry, the freedom, the time, because I grind for my time, not money, you know.
Well, you make the most of your time. And
Yep.
I think that's something that a lot of contractors are making a mistake of right now. When I work with them from the My Claims Care side, I get a chance to talk to the sales reps to see who's submitting files, how they do it, but they don't make the most of the time they have out there in the field. I see far too many individuals that take that middle of the day time and they just do nothing with it. They decide that they're going to take a break from 1 to 4 o'clock, or, I literally sleep in their car. Is that something that you've seen when you get out there and you do your training?
You'd be surprised, man. When I go train other companies, so one thing I love about going out to train is I don't got to be a stay-at-home dad, so I get to wake up 10 in the morning and we get to grind to the nighttime. And it's a thrill. And sometimes I'll be training with people and they be like, oh, it's 1 o'clock, let's go get lunch. And I'm like, lunch? We don't need no lunch. Like, let's go knock some more doors, or I'll be training with guys and they'll get a deal and they'll be like, all right, man, what you want to do? I'm like, what you mean what I want to do? Let's keep knocking. So I think a lot of guys aren't efficient with their time. They're very lackadaisical with their time. And I'm so stingy with my time because I stay home with my kids all day. So when I drop them off, that's the only time frame I got to put in work. So from whether it's 3 to 6, whether it's 5 to 6, whether it's 5:30 to 6 o'clock, because sometimes my days is crazy. But when I'm in the field, it's go time. Like not yesterday, on Monday, man, I only had an hour to knock doors. I closed 1 deal and set up 3 appointments for today. So I'm very efficient with my time. I tell people it's not about how long you're in the field. It's about how efficient and effective you are when you're in the field.
That's so true. One of the things that happened to me when I was just getting into roofing, I went with one of the big box roofers. They promised me the world, and I was gonna learn everything I needed to do and make 6 figures easy. And they promised you all that. I didn't know a damn thing about roofing. So I walked into training, and they sat me down for a day, and they go, okay, this is how a roof works, and this is what you're going to do, and this is how canvass a neighborhood. I mean, literally 1 day of training with a lunch break for an hour. So what we do, maybe 3 hours of training and how to put a roof on. I mean, I didn't understand a damn thing. But then they turn you out and they go, okay, there you go. Here's a truck, and go out there and sell some roofs. I didn't know anything. I didn't have a clue what to do when I went out there. And honestly, man, this is God's honest truth. I remember sitting there in my truck and I cried. I sat there and I put my hands on the wheel and I was just like, what am I going to do, man? How the hell am I going to make money doing this? I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing out here. I mean, I just didn't know. That was a really tough moment. And because a lot of these companies, they just want to work it like a mill, people in, people out, quitting all the time. Like you said in the beginning, with Indeed applications. And then somebody comes in, they train them for a couple days, they leave, and they work it just like a revolving door of people coming in and out. So my question for you is this, though, on top of that. You got some guys out there. I know you work with a lot of new sales reps that are entering into the game. What big mistake did they make when they're first getting out there and knocking doors?
Well, that's a great question, but I kind of want to twist it. I don't think those guys made no mistakes. Okay. I think the biggest mistake is those companies don't properly prepare those guys to be successful in the field. Agreed. And when I train people, like me personally, like with RRCA, when I bring a new guy in and I train them, I do 3 days of classroom training. So I do one day just making sure you know the script. I break it down. I go over my 11 door-to-door roof commandments. I give them a foundation. Day 2, we're talking about the type of people we're going to meet. I teach them how to fill out a contract. I teach them how to, go over AOB. And I make them like do it 4, 5, 6 times in the office with me. Because I believe training, like my boy Brad Lee say, training is not something you did. Training is something you do. So I like to train people 3 days in the office. And then we spend another 3 days in the field. So the first day I'm going to take you out, I'm going to model everything. Second day I'm going to take you out, we're going 50-50. Third day I take you out, you're doing all the pitching and I'm just coaching, critiquing, showing you what you're doing wrong. Fourth day, I'm going to send you by yourself. If you close 1 deal, I send you by yourself the next day. If you close 0 deals, I'm back out with you that next day. So I like to really touch guys because most people quit this industry. It is not because of the industry. It's because of improper training or they had bad management or bad leadership. So anytime I bring somebody into this industry, like me personally, not my company hiring, but me say, hey, come join this team. My goal is to always make sure they're successful, make sure they properly prepare. I overtrain people to the point people like, bro, I'm tired of saying my script. I'm like, well, good. We almost there. Say it again. And I like to make sure guys, like I said, more mentally prepared for the field than they actually are just seeing somebody close a deal, because most people model, most people don't train. So for those new guys, when you're getting out there, man, I don't want to take no personal responsibility from you. It is your job to continue to learn, study, invest into yourself. But most of these guys, it wasn't their fault, man. Their company just didn't properly train them. And I've seen guys quit just because of that same reason. Yeah, I'm just like you. I ain't know nothing my first year. I remember I'd be sitting at a house and the homeowner say, man, you going to replace the drip edge? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know what a drip edge is, but I'm pretty sure once we get you a new roof, we're going to replace it. So I was blessed, man. I was blessed with the gift of gab, and I love people. Most people say that. I love people, but I genuinely love talking to people, helping the people, connecting with people. My girl got to tell me to get off the phone sometimes because I answer the phone for everybody any time of the day. People write me on Instagram. I'm like, I love people. So when I was knocking doors, it was so easy. And then also in elementary school, middle school, I went to a performing arts school, so I used to do acting. I used to do ballroom dancing. I used to do monologues in front of people. So getting out knocking doors, man, it was so easy. And I'm blessed with the ability of likability. People just naturally like me, man. So people just bought because they like me, not necessarily because of my roofing knowledge. Because if it's based on roofing, I wouldn't have sold nothing.
For any sales rep watching this, I want to be very clear about something about Deshaun. The personality this guy has obviously is contagious, but the principles that he teaches to the sales reps in his courses, you can master no matter what your personality is. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have the gift of gab to get the basics down. So you need to contact him so that you can get him in front of your team so that what he can do is teach the principles and the basics that are going to allow your people to be successful over time. Well, are they going to have the personality? Maybe not. Some people do, some people don't. But once you've got the foundation, once you've got the principles down of that door-to-door sales, then you can work on mastering the rest of it. Would you agree?
You hit it right on the head, Patrick. That's what I teach people, the foundation, man. I done had some guys say, man, your training is simple. It's like almost elementary school. And I say, well, complexity is the enemy of execution. If it's too complex, people not going to execute on it. So my goal is to teach this thing super simple. My goal is to have this thing so simple I can teach my son how to go out here and knock doors and sell roofs. I want it to be that simple. But like you said, we create a foundation. Because most guys come out here and they're trying to teach people all this super fancy stuff. And I'm like, no, bro, you just need to master the art of setting up an inspection. Mm-hmm. Master the art of setting up inspections, you're going to close the deals by default. People try to skip steps in the grind, and I'm like, you got to master the basics, fall in love with the mundane. People hype the industry up or come do this and learn how to sell 10 deals in a week or sell it, like you said, 6 figures and all this stuff. I can't stand it. I tell people, man, what we do is hard. It's simple, but it's not easy. But if you put in the work, I promise you, it'll pay you back tenfold. All I did was never quit. Because I ain't no quit. I don't care what it is. I don't care how hard it gets. I'm gonna buckle down and I'm gonna figure it out. Parenting probably the hardest thing I ever did. So when I got in the door-to-door, I'm like, man, changing diapers and waking up in the middle of the night, that's tough. So knocking on somebody's door, that ain't nothing. But you gotta master the basics. That's the best thing you can do in this industry. And that's why I love football. Mm-hmm. People get caught up on receivers and running backs and quarterbacks, but it's only one thing that never changed in the NFL, and that's the basics. And the basics in the NFL is having a great line. If you don't got a great line, you can't throw the ball, you can't run the ball. It used to be a running league, it switched to a passing league. Now it's like going back and forth. But the linemen never change. You never see linemen get skinnier. You never see agile linemen and not no. The basics of football, which is you need a strong line to do any of the things. And that's the same thing like roofing. You need the basics mastered, and then you can, become an elite salesman, learn how to read people, body language, all those things. But if you don't master the basics, you can never do the thing, nothing else.
And also, you've got to master the lay-me-downs, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is this, is that if you're not at your install, if you're not out there, at 6 o'clock at night when people are home, if you're not maximizing your time, I'm talking about the basics of selling. If you're not doing those things and you're worried about what your pitch is going to be when you come to the door, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Get the basics down, man. Just be present there when you're supposed to be present. Have your body and be attentive to what's going on around you, the neighbors that are there, the people that are in the neighborhood. That kind of stuff doesn't take any training. You just have to literally be present and be there to be successful.
You hit it right on the head. Be where your feet at, man.
Yeah.
Be where your feet at.
And I see sales reps that walk around, and when I used to do it, they'd be on their phone. They're always looking at their phone, or they're not looking up, seeing the neighbor, recognizing the neighborhood, seeing and looking at the house, and being attentive to what's going on at that home.
That's funny you say that. I get on guys all the time about their awareness.
Okay.
We'll be knocking in the neighborhood, and I'll be like, I say, oh, this homeowner just got home. It's like, how you know they just got home? I'm like, bro, I seen them leave 20 minutes ago. Like I saw they car leave, and I just saw them pull back up, and it's like, well, I wasn't even paying attention. I'm like, well, what are you paying attention to? Like what? I knock doors with guys sometimes, Patrick, and they'll be like, we lost. I'm like, how? What you mean you lost? You haven't paid attention to the route that we walked in order to get back to your car, get back to certain people, or we'll knock on the door and they say, we already been here. I'm like, no, we haven't. It's amazing to me how low most sales guys' level of awareness are when it just comes to being attentive to a neighborhood, because that's half the battle, just paying attention.
How do you plan your day out? I mean, I know how you start your morning, but how do you plan the day, where you're going to go? I know it probably works with you because of installs, but can you give an idea for a sales rep out there, just the basics of how they should be planning their day when they get up in the morning?
So first and foremost, I always recommend planning your day the night before. So
Okay.
Like around when I'm going to bed, like I say, like 9, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I don't do it anymore. I don't do it as much as I used to because I got such a big list. But I always recommend planning your neighborhood out the night before. So what I do is, and I figured this all out on my own, and I got so good at it, I used to get paid to put people in neighborhoods because I had such great neighborhoods. Because in this industry, neighborhoods is your currency. The better your neighborhood, the more money you're going to make, point blank period. So most companies provide hail swaths, so some type of path where the storm went through. Most guys don't utilize that swath at the level that they should. So what I do is every night I used to sit down, and I'd be up till like 12 o'clock sometimes. I get on that hail swath. I pull up Google Maps on the computer. I would find the right location, and I would just surveillance the map. And I would find anything that looked like a subdivision. And I would drop the little Google guy in the neighborhood, surface, look around the neighborhood, like, okay, this all 3 tabs. I would write down the street name. I would Google the street name. I would see, okay, it's built in 1999. I would write that one down. Pull it out again, look around again, find another neighborhood. Boom, drop it in there. Oh, this built in 2002. I would do that until I had about 20 neighborhoods. And then I would just work them throughout the month. So I would already knew where I was going before the day started. So you want to have a list of neighborhoods. That way you're not wasting time driving. You're not wasting time. You know how many guys I know say they drive around and then they pull up and get out? I'm like, bro, it's such a waste of time. When you step into a neighborhood, they all built in 1999, you got so much more leverage, so much more credibility. So when you're knocking on the door, you say, hey, have you guys had somebody out here to check out the roof later? They say, nah, man, we good. You say, if I'm correct, your house was built in 1999, right? Yeah. That's still the original home. Perfect. So if I'm correct, your house about 21 years old? Yeah, awesome. Average roof in the state of Florida get replaced between 15 and 18. You're over those 18. What we do is free inspections. If you got enough damage, we can help you get a new roof, get the insurance company to pay for it. Just having that little bit of power makes you so much more confident in the neighborhood. So for guys who don't have the best sales skills when you first start out, go where you celebrate it, not tolerate it. If you're in a neighborhood built in 1999, 2000, these people looking forward to getting a new roof, and you just happen to be the guy in the neighborhood. So I would recommend spending some time preparing. I heard somebody say, most people want to be successful, but most people don't want to put in the time it takes to prepare to be successful. So spend that time looking for neighborhoods.
I want to take that one step further because I really like what you just said right there. I did a little video on this, really this morning. And when it comes to people taking the time to be successful, what is so incredible to me is that a small amount of effort can turn into an incredible amount of results.
100%.
Just one small step can introduce an incredible amount of, I'm going to do air quotes here for people who are listening, luck into your life. Because it's not luck. If you just take a little bit of action, like you're saying, if you just plan your day out before you go out there and you make sure that you crush it that morning, that momentum in your head will take you into an incredible evening, an incredible afternoon out there in the field. It doesn't take much. It just takes one small change, 1 hour earlier that you're getting up to knock out the gym or to be with the kids or to read for 30 minutes, as you said. That can completely change your outlook on the day. It doesn't take huge changes. Just think of one thing you could do better in your day and then just do that for 1 week straight. And I promise you are going to see results in your life.
It's the inches, man. People think it's the big strides that make people great. It's not, man. It's the inches. It's just, I love Steph Curry because people see him make 13 threes in a game, 14 threes in a game. But he makes 70 in practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he makes 70 in practice. So people see like, oh man, you went out there and closed 5 deals a day. And it's like, yeah, I'm good. I feel you. I'm good. Yeah, I closed 5 deals a day. But I was in a neighborhood that was 20 years old. These people needed roofs. You know what I mean? Like I put in the time to be in an area where I knew people needed my help versus me stepping into a neighborhood and I'm forcing them to do something. These people are already open to getting new roofs. They've been thinking about getting new roofs. And I just happen to be the guy that's going to be there and I'm going to give them the right information. I'm going to educate them and I'm just going to inspire them to take some action. And they just hire me by default.
I love it, man. Now, I want to kind of turn to the company that you work with right now, RRCA.
Yep.
I personally just have an immense amount of respect for Lee, your team. Obviously, I know a lot of people on your team. I've seen how you guys do things behind the scenes. I was fortunate to be a part of the December team meeting that you guys had down there. I know you heard me speak down there. You guys, can you talk a little bit about how you got involved with RRCA and what it's like working for someone like Lee, who is just so well known in the industry, and then allows you to just flourish like you are right now?
Well, first and foremost, let me just give a big shout out to my big brother Lee Haight, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The utmost love and respect for that guy. He is who he is. That's for sure, man. The same guy he is on the internet, the same guy who he is in person. Passionate, loud, and I say that with all due respect. But he believes in this industry and seeing people successful at a very high level. And one of the things he say is he want to be the facilitator for creating as many blue collar millionaires as possible, and he lived that. But RRCA, I got with them by chance. Honestly, I didn't know who Lee was before this year because my first, let's say 4.5, 5 years into the industry, man, I just had my head down. I was just hustling. I ain't look up no roofing sales guys. I got all of my skills from everybody outside of the roofing industry. So I've never looked up roofing guys or none of those things. And I trained a company up in Tennessee, and one of the guys messaged me. They're like, bro, Lee Haight just commented on your Instagram video. And I'm like, who is that, bro? I don't even know who that is. They're like, it's somebody you need to figure out who he is. I'm like, all right. So I looked him up, saw that he taught commercial. And I wanted to get in commercial, so I bought his program, man, because like I said, I'm always trying to get better. Bought his program. He seen that. He called me down for a podcast. We chopped it up. We connected. The thing that really stood out to me the most about him was I could tell that he had some flavor in him. What I mean by that, he wasn't just like your typical, like, standard, like, come from suburban type of white dude. I could tell that he had some flavor. He'd been around certain type of people, and we connected on that level. Mm-hmm. And he told me he had an office up in Tampa. And I was like, well, I live in Tampa. He was like, well, you interested in joining? And my old company, man, we was kind of on like rocky grounds. I asked them for some more money. They didn't respond the way I wanted them to. So Lee offered me a great opportunity and I jumped on it. And the thing I liked the most about him was he respected what I was doing with RoofHustlers. So he wasn't trying to keep me in a box. He was allowing me to, come under him, learn some things, give mentorship. sell for him, but also still be able to go on the road. Because originally he wanted me to be the sales manager. And I told him it wasn't fair to the team because I wouldn't be there the way I wanted to. But I told him I'll always be there to help train, coach. But I can't. I know I won't be there at the level that a sales manager should be. So, I ended up turning down the position, but I still help and coach everybody on the team any opportunity I get.
How cool is it, man? You got Lee doing his thing with his group. You got Skydiving's over there. You got you as a leader over there with RCA doing Roof Hustler and helping all these other people improve their sales teams, improve their business. There's a lot of owners out there who they don't want to see their sales reps become any more than sales reps. They just want to hold on to them. You got people like Lee, man. He really walks it. Like I was watching last night. He did a video of him out there at the Fountain Blue Blue Collar Conference that's coming up. And he's just like, I want to create as many millionaires in this industry as what I possibly can. And I'm going to be very frank with you, man. I think you're doing some of the same stuff. You're helping these guys go well into the six figures with their income, with your training, with Roof Hustler, with the support that you put out there for people. What you do on Facebook with those chats, they help, man. The videos that you put out, I send to my team, and we're not in roofing sales. Obviously, my claims carry work with roofing contractors. Yep. I send it to my team, man, because, in 1 minute with you, the knowledge that you're able to impart on people is incredible. So I just look at what you're doing over there at RCA with you and Lee and others over there. It's very unique. It's not like everyone's trying to just say, well, we have this knowledge and we're going to hold on to it. Hell no. We have this knowledge. We're going to help you become better. There's enough to go around.
Yeah, and one thing I do love about RCA, man, is Lee got his core beliefs and values, and he living those things, man. Like personal development, we huge on that. Money is attracted to speed. Fearlessness. That's why we close these big commercial deals and tile deals and high-end residential, because we fearless, man. We gonna try to squeeze through that gated house and get in there and try to knock on that door. And some people might see that as like being over invasive, but squeaky wheel get the grease, man. Nothing ain't never came to anybody who waited on it. They say, good things come to those who wait. I say, man, good things come to those who go out there and get it. So we live his core beliefs and values, and he set that culture, the culture that we build, and just it's great high-level salespeople, man. I've been in the roofing industry for 6 years. I worked for 3 companies. One went down because they was taking people checks. I had to leave. Another one went down because the owner sold us. And then the last company I was with, man, they never did nothing for us, never invested in us, never did no conferences, never did nothing. So I'm pretty sure it's a vast majority of sales guys that deal with that same thing. So one thing I love about RCA, man, they genuinely care about us as people. They offer us health insurance. We get health benefits. They allow you to be a W-2. They help you out with taxes at the end of the year. You could be a 1099. We have people like you that came in. We got Jason that recently joined the company, which is like a business consultant.
I like Jason, yeah.
Lee allow us to connect with Ed Milet. It's just like a lot of things that he provides for us that most roofing companies don't. And I'm gonna just say this, so any roofing owners, managers that's listening to this, man, if you don't expect people to invest into your guys, if you don't invest into your guys. What I mean by that, don't expect people to spend money with them if you don't spend money on them. Don't be surprised when your guys want to leave and go to another company because you've done nothing for them except for say how many deals you closed. Why you ain't out there knocking doors, man? People want to feel like people before they are salesmen. So I say we people first, salesmen second, and I'm a daddy before all those things, man. So that's why I tell everybody, if you don't treat your people like people, they're going to leave.
I was with a company. I told this story 2 days ago. I'm doing this thing called, business concepts, basically.
I've seen that.
And I think I'll just tell it to everybody out there right now that I was working with one of the big roofers, and at that time I was training to be a manager within their organization. So I was sent to a sales meeting to kind of just shadow the meeting. And when I went in there, 15 guys or so in the room, I sit down in the back to kind of observe how everything is going to go. And the manager for that particular group goes up and starts the meeting by saying, okay, I want everyone to go around and say, how many deals did you sign up and how many installs did you have this week? First person goes, well, I had 1 install or 1 sign up and 2 installs. Guy goes, terrible. And just in front of everybody. Next guy says like 3, 2, terrible. And he goes through everybody in the room, man, saying how terrible the job they had done. And I'm looking around at these guys going, yeah, some of them got motivated by that. And some of them feel like shit about themselves right now. And but when they got down to him, when they got back to the manager and it's his time to tell what he did for the week, he had done everything great. He had motivated them. He had given them the training. He had tried to be there for him. He had talked to them. He had done everything right, but his team had done terrible. And it was, I sat there and I thought to myself, this isn't the right kind of management style. This isn't how you train people for greatness right here. You got to learn to motivate individuals and take personal accountability for your team. And I see with you, I see with people like Lee, that there is no excuse. You go out there and you perform. You go out there and you do things the right way. And that's something I've grown to have so much respect for you and what you're trying to accomplish out there nationwide, is that you take personal accountability for everything in your life. And I think that, that leads you to be a more successful human being, not just sales rep.
100%. And when I go out and train, that's my main purpose. That's my number one goal, is to leave guys a better person, help them become better people. It's not to help them become better salesmen. And people go through my train. Like when I go train companies, we do one-on-one. So I sit down with every guy in that company and we do an hour one-on-one. And we talk about everything except for sales. How their relationships are, how they doing mentally, how they doing physically, past habits, past relationships, their childhood, all these things, because as I can unpack more information, I could give them the proper skills and, tools that they need in order to become better people, which by default gonna help them become better salesmen. Because I meet some guys, man, their home life suck. And I'm like, your sales match that, man. It ain't that you're a bad salesman. It's just your foundation not set. So you got to get home intact first, and then the sales gonna follow that. So I think it's all about becoming better people, and managers who don't, encourage and love on their guys, you're gonna lose them, man. I love the people that I work with. I love the people that I coach. Anybody that work with me, they can tell you, they can call me anytime, man. Companies I've trained last year, they still calling me to this day. Hey, man, how you doing? I got this issue. I always answer the phone for them. It's not no, hey, bro, I need $30 a minute. I need $10 a minute. I done had people say, hey, can you come in on a Zoom meeting? I got you, bro. It's all love. I ain't saying I need $300, none of those things, man, because I like to show people I genuinely love them. And I get that love in return. And you'd be surprised, Patrick, man. Some people just don't know what love feel like, man. So I just like to give it up.
Is that why you started Roof Hustler? Was that because if you don't know, this man, I just saw, what was it, last week? You get in, I don't know, probably 50 jackets, and you just say, hey, DM me your address and I'll send them to you.
Well, I do charge for the jackets. I won't lie to you.
But the shirts, there was some other stuff that got in that you're just like, hey, man, DM me, I'll send it your way.
Bands and stickers for free.
Yeah.
I invest all that money it costs money to get it made, but I send them all out for free. I'm always helping out. Sometimes people tell me they don't got no money. I still send them a shirt, man. Like, it's all love. Like, I just want to, my goal is to change the whole perspective on the roofing industry and show people that it's not all about sharks. It's not all about trying to sell somebody something. I believe in giving 8 times before you ask for something. So I just want to provide as much value as possible. And in return, people going to say, hey, can you come out and train? Do you got this? Do you got that? But, man, this is the first year I've really asked people to buy stuff from me, man. For 3 years, I just gave it all away for free.
So 2 things I want to end with. First of all, whatever you need from My Claims Care, whatever we can do to help Roof Hustler, you let me know. I told you that
yes,
privately between me and you. Think of something. I want to help you guys out. I think this is an amazing thing that you're doing within the industry, okay? And the second thing I want to talk about is, and I want to kind of end on this, is where you see Roof Hustler, where you see yourself going in 2021 and beyond, because I want to have you back on the show. Where do you see this whole thing going for you?
That's a great question, because a man without a vision will perish. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It said that in the Bible. And the long term goal for Roof Hustlers is eventually, as sad as this sound, I want to get out of knocking doors. And, you know what I mean? I love knocking doors, but I can never show the people around me how to elevate if I don't elevate. So I got to eventually get this thing to where I'm not knocking doors. But the grand scheme, like big goal is eventually, I use the word we a lot because I'm going to have a team one day and we're going to be, making noise. But me and my boy Virgil, we got some things cooking up. We about to open up Roof Hustlers supplements. We're gonna be Roof Hustlers. We're gonna be supplementing for people, and me and Virgil gonna be working on that. Right now, I'm working on my new 4-week mentorship program that I'm putting together for guys. It ain't even about sales. It's about helping guys become better people, better coaches, better trainers, to treat their people better, and just become a better person within their lives. So I'm working on that. And then the long-term goal, I want to do licensing. So what I want to do is have Roof Hustlers training, everything that we do so turnkey that I meet a guy, he say, man, I want to do what you do. I just don't got my own training. All right, come on, cool beans. I'm going to certify you on the Roof Hustlers. I'm going to send you out in the market. I'm going to show you how to get business. I'm going to send you around the country training people. You'll pay me $2,000 a month, or what? Not a month, but a year to stay certified. And I just want to continue to spread this message and continue to improve the industry. And I'm only one person, so I can't do it by myself. So I just need a team of hustlers, kind of like Sam Taggart do with his door-to-door guys. I send them to different companies. I want to do that same thing with Roof Hustlers, and we just touching as many companies as possible. We teaching the same principles, teaching the same perspective, same mindset, and we just improving the industry one day at a time. Of course, I want to start putting on seminars, kind of like Lee doing his own thing. Mm-hmm. I also got a great idea with, eventually I want to have, high-level contractors. We meet up 4 times a year. We're going to call it the Hustlers Corner. And we just get together and we mastermind in different parts of the country, man. So I got a lot of things I'm cooking up on. I want to finish the book this year, but just continue to get a little bit more professional with it, automate some things, get the website up and going, just continue to keep thriving, man, because we've came this far just off of raw talent, man. Wait till we polish this thing up.
Man, it's a no-brainer, guys. Roofing contractors, sales reps, Roof Hustler. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook. Message my boy here. If you're feeling like you need, what's that?
I said on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah, for sure on YouTube, Roof Hustlers. You want to look them up. Follow this gentleman right here. As you can see, you won't find someone more knowledgeable, more inspirational within the industry. I can't wait to see what you do, Deshaun. I mean, it's just going to be amazing over the next couple of years. And hopefully you let My Claims Care be a part of that success in some way. Whatever we can do to help you, Virgil, V Claims, however you guys want to make it work, we're here for you.
Yeah, and can I just share something before we go?
Please, anything.
I just want to let anybody that made it this far in the show, first of all, you one of the people that want to be great. But anybody out there that got a team, 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, what I've figured out how to do is get an extra 10 to 15% out of your guys that you haven't been able to do yet. So I'm letting you know, a lot of these guys question these online salespeople and all these things. I'm letting you know, I do what your guys do so I could tap into a level of their mindset that you can't, because it's a disconnect between the owner and the salespeople. I know how to come in there, get some great information, and then I bring it all back to the owner so I can teach you how to lead your people better. So if you wonder why I should come out, it ain't nothing to wonder about, man. All you should be caring about is, do I love my guys enough to help them get better? And if you do, you need to reach out to me, man. We can figure out, how we can make it happen. But I guarantee you it's worth every penny. And any company I trained this year, they'll tell you the same thing, man. It was life-changing experiences and way better than what they expected, because we deeper than sales, man. Sales is just what we do.
Roof Hustlers is not your $750 a month, and I'm going to give you 10 leads, and then I'm just going to forget about your crap. That is not what this gentleman is about. This is about training your team for long-term success.
100%. Giving them the right principles, the right values, the right mindset, the right perspectives, helping them figure out why they do this on a deeper level, helping them get rooted to their purpose, and allowing them, because like I tell everybody, you could never get your guys to work harder for you. But what I can do is tap into your guys and get them to work harder for themselves, and in return, it'll benefit you.
I love it, man. Roof Hustlers, if you're not following them, you're making a mistake in the roofing game. This guy's going to blow up. He already is. Deshaun, thank you so much for joining me today, man. I really appreciate it. Your insight, your knowledge, it's incredible.
Yes, sir, man. The pleasure is all mine. 2021, man, make sure you dominated at the highest levels. And as always, baby, hustle hard, hustle smart.
That's right, man. Later.